What's that? Oh, AJ, nice to meet you. He's coming. Or did you hear her?
Was that?
She was saying you should have been wearing your shirt.
Let's see here. All right, let's do this the proper way. That's right. We are live at Stadium Sports Bar and Casino under the stadium lights for the Coaches Show, and it is episode number 1. I'm joined here with CMR Rustler head coach AJ Wilson. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So this is, thank you. Yeah, we got a button for that just in case. And there's laughter too. Yeah, right. I love it. So this is, we're going to talk every week with the different coaches around the Electric City area. And basically, we just want to kind of get to know you, the player, when we switch off here. And, this is your second year with the Rustlers. What's been the biggest challenge? Because you guys introduced the legacy numbers.
Yep.
And legacy is a big deal. But what was the biggest challenge for you taking over for a team with that kind of legacy?
It was tough. It still is tough. Every day is tough. But that's why you take the job and you take on the challenge and just got to bring some energy to these kids. And we've been working on changing the culture back to that gold standard of what used to be CMR football. So just having that with those kids, having that drive, having that want, finding that why for each and every one, has been big for us.
What is AJ Wilson's version of Rustler football? What did you want to implement when you took over the reins?
I just, I wanted to see smash mouth football like it used to be. We re-entered, some of that power and counter game. We also have the buck sweep as well, so, we're a multitude of different offenses with the guys that we have this year. And we've been able to do different things with our group. We're a little bit of last year with a little bit of new this year. But, just trying to find our identity, and that's year to year with different guys that come into your system, come into your high school. We don't get a recruit. So, you have who you have and you adjust with who you have.
Yeah. And there's been some, players that have swapped back and forth between Great Falls High and CMR. Do you ever get involved in that? Try to persuade anybody from across the river to come be a Rustler?
No, you want to be on this side, then we want you here. That's one thing I love about the Electric City is, for the most part, you're on one side of the river, and you own that and you live it. And that's, something that I came from. That was Capitol Hill High. You crossed the Montana Avenue. That was a bad thing. I do love seeing that here in the Electric City. Kids are, for the most part, they're true to their side, and they should be.
Well, perfect segue. Speaking of Capitol Helena High, you guys were not forgiven by the football scheduling gods at all. First up, non-conference, so I guess there's that. But the reigning state champions come to Memorial Stadium to take on the Rustlers. I mean, how did you feel when you saw that?
I was excited.
Yeah?
I want to see Capital CMR rivalry back in action, and that's what we get game 1. Being an ex-Capital guy and going up against my old high school, I no longer bleed brown and yellow. It's golden green. Sorry, but that's what I told the kids at the end of practice today. Man, I have no brown left in me. It's all green and gold from here. So super excited for Friday night. Probably one of the best coaching staffs in the state. On the other side of the sideline with Coach Mahelish at the reins. too much respect. I mean, I have so much respect for Coach Mahelish. He was one of my coaches in high school. He's been one of my mentors, through high school, through college, and my coaching career. But now it's, time to take gloves off and get after it.
Championship coach. He's been involved with the Shrine Game. I mean, clearly he's got a legacy of his own. What have you been able to, I guess, learn from him, or what would you like to learn from him?
I take everything in that I can from coaches. We don't try and reinvent the wheel. We just try and steal and adjust to what we do. And I've taken a ton from Coach Mahelish, whether it's just coaching tips or how to run a program. He does it right. You can see that over his tenure as the head coach since Coach Murphy left. That guy knows how to win. He knows how to produce. He knows how to get guys on the field in the right spots. And, those are things that I've tried to steal from him throughout the years.
So what's the biggest hurdle as far as prepping and planning for a team that there's no film on, but even still, like every year it's a different team, especially at the high school level, because you graduate so many seniors, you retain so many from the underclass up, but there's literally no film on this version of Capital, and you guys have to prep for that at home for game one.
Yep. I mean, you got to prep for what you got. We have access to all last year's film, things like that, but again, they're a different team. They lost a group of great seniors that, dominated the state last year. So, we don't truly know what we're going to get. We can, guess. They're going to come out in their base stuff that they've done and what they showed in their scrimmage and their little scrum like we did, very vanilla on both sides. We get it. Don't want to show too much. But, you kind of go back, you kind of hope and, what you're watching on film maybe from last year or 3 years ago, that's kind of what they're going to come out in. But when it comes to defense for Capital, they're going to line up like they do. They're going to line up in their fronts, and they're just going to play their thing. Like, they're not going to change. They are who they are. I mean, outside, I watch it and it's like, that's what we ran in high school, But now they have a little bit of twist to it, a little taste to it,
Yeah.
But man, they are bend don't break defensively, and they are multiple on offense. They got Almquist kid who's an absolute killer with speed. Brother had 3 touchdowns, or he had 3 touchdowns, state title last year, and he's one of the fastest kids in the state. Sub 1100. So that's gonna be a big challenge for us. They have the Linder kid; he's very talented out there, inside linebacker, running back for them. Cat signed already. Again, a good challenge. They have the Opitz kid as well. Going to Grizzlies, I believe. They're a good football team, and they're going to produce. They have great, off season every year. They preach the weight room just as I do. So, excited for Friday night for a hard fought game.
Yeah, you guys announced the captains at your scrimmage, and then the legacy numbers. One was, you said yourself, a new face, Lincoln Center. Like, what do you like about him? What stands out?
Just have seen huge growth over Lincoln in the last year. Kid who wanted to maybe try the tight end position when I introduced the tight end back into our offense. And, I was like, hey, man, you got to stay with the tackle spot here. I promise you it's going to pay off, but he's just done a great job in the weight room, a great job of continuing to eat and get bigger, just working. So he's done a great job leading the line. And I say a new face because the other 3 were all captains last year for us. Drew, Caleb, and Hunter were all captains for us last year. So, but, not necessarily new face, just new face to the leadership part of it.
Well, I certainly like him. He's, every time I've been around him, he's always been very grounded, well represented as far as what you want from a captain, on your team. And I think that speaks volumes. But once again, folks, we are live at Stadium Sports Bar Casino. It is Stadium Lights, the coaches show. I'm here with head coach for CMR Rustlers, AJ Wilson, and our sponsors, Burger Bunker, Russell Country Federal Credit Union, Cutting Crew, and Nails Too. Even Linda Morin, she decided to be a supporter here, not just for this episode, but for all of them. So Rustler Pride, hashtag Rustler Pride for her. We got Mars of Great Falls and Schulte's 38th Street best chicken in town.
That's what they say.
That is what they say. And then I had it myself, and my wife is like, this is legit chicken. So thank you to our sponsors. So, Coach, when I first got here, it was, an old team, so to speak. A lot of seniors. You had Cole Taylor. You had AJ LaFerge. You had a really stacked roster. And then those guys graduated. And then you enter Caleb Taylor, the younger Taylor, and then you come in the second year. So most coaches, I think the rule is 3 years before you see what your vision is unfold. But second year, you've got the good problem. You've got a lot of seniors. So this is it. So how did you feel about that? Do you feel like your vision is starting to take hold and become Rustler football?
Yeah, I mean, with a great class with 20 seniors, we haven't seen that in the past few years. So just having grown men out there, that are not 16, they're 18-year-old guys, that makes a difference when you're playing up front, when you're playing in space and those types of things, and just knowledge of the game as well. These guys are picking up our offense. It felt like it was picked up last year, but we're just another gear ahead right now, which allows us to expand the offense, to have some fun with it, to play with it, to make different movements, different shifts, create different matchups that we want. So just these guys, buying into the system, and the guys that are out there, those are the guys that come to open gyms, they lead the open gyms. They're out there, they're running the Skelly sessions, and so it's just awesome to see that.
So they say that you learn more from a loss than a win, but obviously you guys want to start the season 1-0, especially, I mean, no bigger, eye test than the reigning state champion. So what could you learn from a win like that? Like, what would that tell you about your program?
Yeah, I mean, it just tells us that, we're with them, we can compete with the top, so no more of this middle of the road stuff. We're there, whether we win or lose that game. If we're competitive, people are going to see us, CMR Rustler football's here. They're ready to go, because Capital's no slouch. So it's going to be fun, just seeing what happens on Friday night and seeing our kids go out there and compete and do their thing.
We did have a fan question come in for you. Dean Blair wanted to know what your crosstown prediction would be. I was like, a little early for that, isn't it? That's the last one of the season, not the first one of the season.
I don't know if I can give a prediction yet. I have not seen an ounce of film. I haven't seen Great Falls High in camp in summer, so I'm going to hold off on that one. Sorry, Dean.
But let's talk about rivalry, because we'll have Cheetah and a player on from Great Falls High here next week. And then my hope is to have you guys, both of you, here for the week of Crosstown for that Monday. That'd be a lot of fun. But, I've gotten to know him a little bit longer, because he was the head coach when I first got here. And, his approach hasn't changed much. But what do you see when you play, across the river against Great Falls High? Like, what stands out to you as far as what makes them a good football team?
I think Cheetah tries to do what's best for them. Last year they were so big up front, they pounded the ball, and they did a heck of a job doing that. And you have Steele Harris out there, another top receiver in the state. He's going to be tough to defend, so we're going to have our hands full regardless. With them late season, it's crosstown. It's always a big game. The juices are big, it's flying, and you got to be ready to go. Whether, we're 9-0, they're 0-9, we're 1-8, they're 1-8. It don't matter. It's going to be a hard fought football game. So I'll wait for that one for about 8 more weeks, though. So I might focus on Capital.
All right, so we've got posters of the actual coaches show up here, 2 to give away, and we're going to have Coach and the players that want to sign it. But first winner will be a trivia question. Who is the only, and this is rough to say, but who is the only CMR football player of the game for the fan show? That is correct. Hunter Lee. Gentleman gets a free poster. Speaking of which, tell me about Hunter Lee. What do you like about him?
What's not to love about Hunter Lee? Things that stand out about Hunter is his work ethic, man. A guy that 14-second 100 a couple years ago has now turned into darn near an 11-second 100. I can't compliment him for the hard work that he puts in the film room, in the weight room, out on the track, running. He's made himself a complete football player.
Yeah, it was at the infamous lights out game, the big tornado that ripped through, half the lights went out, and you guys decided to play on. What was that discussion like in the locker room? Because, it was severe weather.
Yeah, no, going to halftime, you're just thinking homecoming's a little bit longer than usual. Nothing's out of the ordinary. We walk out and it's like, holy smokes, this wind is wild,
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, lights are out. And luckily the King and the Queen got to the end and it was over for that part. So we didn't actually have to retract to the homecoming stuff. But we were delayed, 40, 45 minutes, but met in there with the Skyview coach. And we just looked at each other. Let's go, man. Let's play football. We got light. Who cares? So the kids wanted to play. They didn't want to wait till the next day. So we just looked at each other. We were like, hey, let's go.
It reminded me of, I think it was a Pepsi commercial. The lights go out and everybody starts to hold up their cell phone, and then all of a sudden the players see the ball and they jump on it, and then play resumes. Now that didn't happen, but I was really hoping that was going to be what we see, is the student section just starting to hold up the lights on their cell phones, get this thing going. But I felt the worst for the band, because they were out there performing, and you've got these tuba and trombone players that are just this in the wind. But it was a great game, great performance by Hunter Lee. We're looking forward to having several more CMR Rustler players of the game this season. And we are retiring the belt this year. It's had, a long enough life, and we're going to have a brand new belt. We did find some sponsors for the player of the game, and that'll be here this week as we get ready for the Fan Show Tour. Starts off with the Copper game down in Montana Tech, and then CMR Russell football. And I'm
taking Western over Tech Thursday night, just so.
Western over Tech. Okay, all right. And for you linemen, the Schaefer Shuffle is here. No longer are you guys the unsung heroes. The player of the game will get to hand pick their linemen of the game, and you guys can wood burn your initials or signature into the shovel. Schulte is especially excited about this, and so it's going to be displayed however he wants to at Schulte's 38th Street Coffee House, and I just think it's important that the linemen get some recognition.
Absolutely.
And what stands out about what makes a good lineman?
What makes a good lineman? I mean, big, tough, and strong. And be able to move, athletic. And honestly, I think that's the group we have this year. We have a big, physical, athletic offensive line. So hopefully we can take advantage of that.
Yeah, Peyton Fenner got one of the legacy numbers. What's the discussion like? Who all has a say in who gets the legacy numbers? It was him and Drew.
Yep. So coaches, when we met here preseason, we kind of talked about it. It was after summer weights and those types of things, but we went with guys that were in the weight room every day. We went with the guys that had the best percentages in class. We talk about attendance wise, being at weights, being at open gyms, just all those things. A leader on the team, maybe not a loud leader, but a leader by example. And I think both those guys fit that. They're hard workers. They come to everything that we ask them to do. They go above and beyond, and in general, they're good people. And I think that they mirror the legacy of Coach Jay. Winners, they get after it. They're not afraid of it. They got grit. They're ready to go. So it was a tough decision. We had a few guys in mind for each number, but I think we went with the right two.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a guy more enthusiastic about football than Peyton Fenner. I've known him probably the longest of any of the Rustlers, but just a great kid all around. Always, messaging me, being like, "Hey, you're going to be at this, or you should be at this," and he's a wrestler too, and just an enthusiast of sports. Yeah, just loves his sports. So a solid pick there. Drew, obviously, we're waiting to see what happens with him and his well-being as far as the injury that he sustained last year. What's the hope for Etcheberry?
Start Friday night, Drew? Absolutely.
Yeah, there we go.
We're good. We're clear.
Yeah. I've been waiting all night to use that. Good cause, too.
Yeah, no, super excited for Drew to get back out there. A super unfortunate injury right before state basketball. But, you talk about a kid with resilient, determination to get back on the football field before it starts. I mean, that's your prime example right there. A guy who put in the extra work, whether it was PT or at home, in weights class at zero period throughout the summer. I mean, he always did what he needed to do to get back on the field. So super excited for him to get back on Friday night.
So we've talked about Lincoln Center. We talked about Hunter Lee. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Drew, since we're on that subject. What stands out about Drew, and what are you hoping to see from him other than a great senior performance this season?
Just staying healthy, being able to be our number one guy out there at receiver. Just like I said before, just all those things prior, he's done all the right things. He's, even before he got injured, and you think about, why that kid, why you punish the kid who does everything right, but, it's a test of character, and we tested his character, and oh my gosh, we found out that he's a real deal. He's ready to go.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun to talk to. His Crosstown Smack Talk was great last year. I always look forward to doing that with the guys the week at Crosstown. So get your best WWE promos ready, guys, because we're going to do it again. We're going to run it back for a third year. You guys need to step up your game. But no, you guys have such a great crew. And so starting off non-conference. I mean, do you even look at conference, non-conference games like that, or is it a game?
It's a game. Why wouldn't you want to be undefeated? That's the ultimate goal, is go undefeated state champs, right? So they're non-conference, but they're still games. They're still important. They still send the message to the state. Week 1, week 2.
Did it feel like last year that Capital kind of got forgot about, because it seemed like a lot of the focus had shifted to Gallatin Bozeman and Capital, but obviously Hellish still relevant, able to do it.
Maybe a little bit after week 1 when Gallatin beat them. They came back a little bit from 14-point deficit, came back and beat them week 1. I don't know about you, but I knew Capital was going to be there in the end. The year before, you could see they weren't as good of a team. They were still very talented, but they were very young. I mean, just from outside looking in, I saw that team. I was like, oh, it's going to be them and Glacier. Them, Glacier, Gallatin were in the 3 tops, I thought. And they were 3 out of the 4 that were still there with West. So, again, they're going to be tough. They're going to be well coached. They're going to be ready to go.
One game can change a lot of opinions and the standings, and that's really it. But the teams that are in it to win it and have been there before, they tend to stick around. And I think that's what Capital did last year, and that's what I respect about them. But yeah, you're right. Glacier, Gallatin, those teams, they're definitely ones that you look at the schedule and be like, okay, like that's our road. So speaking of legacy that we mentioned earlier and the legacy numbers, what are you hoping is your legacy once it's all said and done for the A.J. Wilson tenure with Rustler football?
I don't know, man. We'll see when we get there. Whether they can me after this year or in 5 or 20, I'm just kidding. But but no, I just want to enjoy my experience. I want these guys to enjoy their experience. That's one of my favorite experiences was high school football. Playing at Capital, but and I want these guys to enjoy that experience that I also had. So. If some of them are able to go to college and continue on and continue to enjoy their experience like I did, awesome. But in the end, I just, want to be known as guy who put out good football teams, competitive football teams year in, year out. And everybody enjoyed their experience.
Okay. All right. So the last player that we got to talk about, because they're going to be coming up here after you in just a few minutes, is your quarterback, your leader, Caleb Taylor. I mean, did you have a chance to watch his older brother play at all?
I've seen film and things like that. I've actually seen him more in person at playing for the Cats at linebacker and kickoff.
Yeah.
Watching him have a pick 6 in the spring. And but other than that, just watching film of previous years before I got here. And then my first year here as well, just trying to learn the offense that we were running. So
3 years of Caleb Taylor, 2 with you. What's been the biggest growth for a young player like that?
His ability to read, and make decisions, trust his offensive line, step up into the pocket. Last year, we weren't very good up front, so he had a lot of pressure in his face. Again, like I said earlier, I think we're better up front this year. Again, we're bigger, faster, more athletic, more physical up front. So, hopefully we can protect him a little bit and he'll be able to make his reads from, high to low, low to high, whatever we are in our pass game. But Caleb continues to run the offense. He gets it. Again, we can continue to expand on that offense if our quarterback knows what, because he's putting the guys in the position when they're wrong on the field. Right? We can yell from the sideline, but you can only hear so much. It's great having Caleb as a 3-year starter. We've really tested him. He had a complete different offense as a sophomore than he did as a junior. And junior to senior year, it's been the same for the most part. Little tweaks here and there, but he's picked it up great. He continues to work. He continues to want to be better. So that's only helpful for us.
Between you and me, like, how much do you trust him out there?
He can call it plays. Sometimes.
He can call the plays sometimes. All right. I like it. Well, we like to wrap up, and I say that like we've done it several times. This is the first Coach's Show. What we're doing is we're going to wrap up with Coach with a segment that I'm calling Fishing for Compliments with Coach, because coaches are notorious for not giving out compliments very often. So we have this fishing pole here, and then we've got these guys right here, and you're going to fish for one of them, and then you have to give a compliment based on what that one says. Oh, okay. And I got the key right here. The whatever that is that you just fished out. Ooh, it's the person. So you have to give a compliment to Caleb Taylor about his personality.
Caleb Taylor about his personality.
Audience is ready for this.
Honestly, his personality reminds me a ton of my buddy Joe Coker from high school and college. He's just kind of a goofball. Like he's got that in him. But he can be serious when serious needed. When it's work time, he knows it's work time. But when the goofball comes out in him, he comes to my office when we're just joking around or whatever. It's good to see that side of him.
You get that? You got all that on video? He's got the thumbs up. All right, Coach. Well, I know that we had some scheduling conflicts tonight. My apologies, but I'm glad that we could have you here and that we could spend some time with you, and we'll do it again later on the season. But thank you again so much. One more time. Head coach of the CMR Rustlers, AJ Wilson. Yes, thank you, guys. Good crowd. So we will be right back with Caleb Taylor after this.
The Stadium Lights Coaches Show is made possible by our proud sponsors. The Burger Bunker, located at 24 5th Street South here in Great Falls and open Monday through Saturday. It's my personal favorite burger in town. I like the Island. Stop in and tell them the F.A.N Show sent you. Burger Bunker, no frills, just deliciousness for your inner burger lover. Mars of Great Falls, your one-stop shop for a variety of automobile restoration services. Call today at 406-315-2142 or stop in and see Archie yourself at 1224 19th Avenue South. Schulte's 38th Street Store and Coffee House. Family owned and the best chicken in town if you ask me. But don't take my word for it. Stop in and see for yourself at 3800 3rd Avenue South. A Cutting Crew and Nails too. Located at 315 17th Avenue Northeast. Walk-ins are welcome or call and book an appointment today, 406-771-4900. Russell Country Federal Credit Union, where they believe in helping you and your children achieve financial success while building a better community. They want to be your financial home, so stop in their Great Falls or Fairfield office and get started on your new account today. And finally, CM Russell Superfan and Hall of Famer Linda Morin, Rustler Pride.
All right, and we are back, and I've got a graphic change here. There we go, Caleb Taylor. Okay, look at that. All right, and let's go ahead and talk Rustler football. You got me okay?
Yep.
Okay, so Caleb Taylor, quarterback. Gentlemen, how you doing?
Good. How about you?
Oh man, it's fall sports season. I couldn't be more excited. I mean, the tour starts this week. We're doing the coaches show. I mean, really everything is just up and running now, and this was part one. But thank you so much for being here. Yeah. Look at this shirt you got on. That's a lot of green and gold right there. There we go. All right. So, Capital game 1. You're the quarterback. I mean, walk us through when the schedule came out and you're just like, all right, senior year, this is how we're starting, huh?
Honestly, I didn't really think we were going to have Capital, but it ended up that way, and they ended up winning the state championship. So, I mean, we're going into that game full head of steam and just ready to go take it to them.
So walk me through preparation for a game, because as I mentioned with Coach Wilson, that there's like little to no film on this team, because every year players graduate, there's new teams. I mean, even in the NFL, you never retain 100% of the 53 man. So you guys have this, and all they've got is probably practices and the scrimmage. Like, are you guys in a room together going over plays and what you see, what he sees? Like, walk us through week 1 preparation.
Week 1 preparation is kind of hard, especially since it's a non-conference team. So we have literally no film on them. But we sometimes will go back a couple years since Mahelish has still been there, and we took some film from back then because we know they're on the same stuff now. So we're kind of going over that film, and then we're going over a little bit of Glacier versus Capital in that championship game because we run a little bit of what Glacier does. So, I mean, preparation is going to be harder than most games, but we're definitely getting on it and trying to do our best to scout them out.
So walk me through, just your senior year. You and I talked on day 1. It was your first practice with the guys. Obviously, you probably have plans to play at the next level and commit somewhere just like your older brother. But, really, are you trying to savor every moment? Or is this kind of like, if there's a moment that comes to me, I'll savor it. Otherwise, like, I got to be business as usual.
I'm trying to take it day by day, honestly. Just, I don't know, taking it day by day and taking in what I can now and using it for later.
All right, and that's fair. So you're one of the captains now, and then we've got Lincoln Center, and then Hunter Lee, Drew Etcheberry, talk to me about, your thoughts, because you've played with, majority of those guys all of your career as a wrestler. Let's go with Hunter Lee first. What do you like about Hunter Lee?
Hunter Lee, wow. He's a little bit of a goofy kid, but
Really?
he's probably one of the funniest guys on the team. He's easily gets the most mad on the team. I mean, I can't tell you a practice that he's not the maddest on the field that I've ever seen someone. So he's just funny. And then Drew Etcheberry, I mean, probably one of the hardest working guys. We just heard AJ Wilson talking about him. I mean, he came from that ACL tear and that meniscus tear, came right back in the matter of the shortest time you can possibly think of. So,
yeah, that's the Drew Etcheberry sound button right there.
So just one of the hardest workers you'll see. If you come into the weight room, you'll see it and notice it. And then Lincoln Center, a new addition to our captain list. Obviously, we all know he just committed to the Grizz, so he's supposed to have a great season, and we all think he will. So he's a great kid.
Is there anybody else on the team, not a captain, that you feel that you have a special bond and connection with, especially going into your senior year?
A lot of them. Mostly all of them. I couldn't single out a single person, but just the whole team, honestly. Especially since our whole team is going to consist of a lot of seniors this year, and we've all been playing together since freshman year, and that's when it all started. So coming back for one more year is going to be really exciting.
I feel like that was quarterback speak. I like everybody. Please continue to block for me and don't tackle me too hard in practice.
Yeah.
Guys like Hunter Lee, though, I imagine, you're probably happy they're on your team.
Yeah, he hit me today.
He hit you today. How hard?
Not very hard. He knew he would have gotten yelled at by Greenies probably. So.
That's so great. Well, let's see. Dean Blair had a question for you. He wanted to know who your boy was, if it was Drew or Hunter.
If I had to take someone?
Yeah.
Probably Drew Etcheberry. Just because we're going to be in the end zone a lot more. So.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Hunter might be in the end zone this year. He's playing a little bit of running back. So we'll see how it goes as the year continues.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like, what are you most excited about as far as the squad?
I'm just excited that we're all coming back together for one last year. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to have a lot of great memories from it for the rest of our lives.
Do you have a crosstown prediction, or is it way too early?
It's honestly too early for it, but we're definitely beating them.
Yeah, I hear the applause already.
Their streak's coming to an end this year.
Wow. Okay. All right. I'll take it. I like the bold prediction because, since I've been here, the Rustlers have not won that football crosstown, and that's the biggest one. I mean, in my opinion, of the year. But wrestling's a big one. Basketball, those are big ones. I mean, you guys even get hyped for the volleyball ones, so it's not knocking volleyball, but
football's got to be the biggest, especially since it's first of the year. So see how it goes, but.
Well, you guys have some great theme nights, but the first one is, I think, Gold Standard, which is your guys' theme. It's on your posters, which we were hoping to have one here today. But I saw I think it's my favorite poster of you guys for the seniors and just everything. What did you think of it when you saw it?
I thought it really resembled us just as a team, and I don't know, as a team.
What does Gold Standard mean to you?
Just doing the right thing, even when no one's looking, doing the right thing, showing up on time, being there for your classes, being there for your teammates, just everything you can possibly do to get us a win on a Friday night.
Well, your first year, you were under a different head coach, and now you've had the last two, probably the more important years as far as your quarterback development and just football fundamental development as a whole with Wilson. What have you learned the most from him as far as, not necessarily fundamentals or football skill, but just coach to player, coach to quarterback?
Wilson's kind of taught me a lot of things, but I think what I really take from Wilson is to just trust in your O-line and keep them up and make sure that they're doing the right thing, even when they're not. So
I take it that's happened a time or two.
Yeah, a couple times, but I mean, I do my best to keep them up and just tell them everything's going to be fine because honestly, nothing really matters until that Friday night.
Yeah. And you guys, like I said, had a really, a progressive season last year. I mean, it wasn't the way that you guys wanted it to turn out, but I loved the no quit, especially that lights out game where you guys came out and were just like, we're playing, and then you guys end up winning that game.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Did you have a hard time seeing on the field that second half?
A little bit. I can't lie, a little bit. But the really hard part was Dart. I kept looking over at our offensive coordinator, Coach Dart. He kept calling plays, or he kept calling pass plays, and I was like, the wind's blowing 55 miles an hour.
Do you see what I see? Because I could only see like 2/3 of the field.
And we're warming up. We walked back out of the dog cage, and we're warming up on the field. And I remember throwing to one of my receivers. I think it might have been Drew, honestly. We were throwing, and he was like, I can't see the ball. It's pitch black. I can't see the ball. And so we just kept calling pass plays, hoping it would work. And obviously it must have, because we got the win. So
might as well sling it. I love that about you guys and how you still manage to find, the silver lining of certain situations like that. But for you, your senior year is about to start. But what's been your fondest memory of being with Rustler football so far?
Probably my freshman year. Freshman year was a lot of fun. My brother was there. All of my brother's friends were there. So it was just a lot of fun being around them, especially on that varsity field when I got my first varsity snaps freshman year. And then being with all my best friends since we've been together since 4th grade. So been a lot of fun there, and we got 9 wins in a row. So something must have been right.
What's it been like going from being literally the little brother, your freshman year, to now you're the big brother, but in a role that is captain, and you're senior, you're like everything that a big brother is without being anyone's actual big brother?
I'm not really sure. Being a big brother to the freshmen and the sophomores and the juniors, just kind of teaching them the ways, because I know that they're going to want to do the same thing for the kids beneath them. So just trying to show the right things, whether it's by talking or whether it's by example. So doing the right things on and off the field.
All right. Well, we are once again here with quarterback for the CMR Rustlers, Caleb Taylor. We've got a second poster to give away. We'll do one more fan show trivia question here for the audience. Who is the WWE Hall of Famer that signed the now retired Fan Show Player of the Game belt? No, Cena. I couldn't see him if I wanted to. No. Okay, we'll do a different one. We'll do a different one. Who was the first Rustler player of the game? I'll give you a hint. It was volleyball. Who? Rayma Pace is correct. Oh, wrong one. All right, so we got a couple of posters here that we've given away, and then we're going to have you guys sign, so we appreciate that. But yeah, every Monday at 6 o'clock, we're here talking football, volleyball, soccer, even cross country at some point this season. And now it is football, though, and you guys will open up Memorial Stadium. I've never been in a situation where our home wasn't our home, so to speak. I mean, I know Memorial is your guys' home field for game, but it's not where you guys practice. What has that been like for you as a player?
It's hard, especially knowing that Great Falls High gets to practice on it each and every day. But I mean, we just continue to work, even though it's a grass field, and we take a lot of pride in that field over at CMR Jack Johnson Field. So just doing what we can to prepare, just like it's turf. So,
do you ever want to have a game at the Jack Johnson Field?
If we had the stands for it, yes.
Oh, yeah.
But nothing's like playing in Memorial Stadium on a Friday night.
It is one of my favorite stadiums, and I have been around to a few now. I think Glacier kind of has the trump card for best scenic backdrop, because you're up in the Flathead Valley area and in that national park. But you guys, you're not the only teams in the state that share a field, but how do you make it your own come game day?
Well, we haven't really made it our own yet, but we're gonna this year.
I like that. So looking around at the roster that you guys have, obviously, about 3 years, but you could do it in less time, is when you want to give a head coach to finally see his program come into it. But as I mentioned to him, he's got the best problem right now, which is you guys have got 20 seniors that are coming back. Like, is it winning season or bust, or like what's a win for you guys this season with 20 seniors coming back?
A win is just having a lot of fun this season and getting as many wins as possible. We're hoping to at least have a winning record, if not go in and compete for that title this year. So we'll see.
What did you learn from your brother that freshman year when you were playing, or was it a lot of hazing ish without the actual hazing?
It wasn't too bad, but definitely not like it is today. I mean, freshmen don't ever get hazed now.
Yeah.
They're dumb. I think they should, but whatever.
He thinks they should. What would be your preferred method? Is it a hold up bucket of water out here as long as they can, or?
I don't know. Probably just like handcuff them in a room for themselves. Maybe give them some laxatives or something.
Oh, wow. Okay. I guess we are lucky that hazing isn't around anymore. If Taylor was going to be responsible for it.
A takeaway probably from my older brother, the biggest thing was just stay calm, especially when you're in a big game situation. Just stay calm, be relaxed, and trust what practice has taught you. So that's what I've done throughout my high school career, and it's going to pay off.
So what has Caleb Taylor done for CMR Russell football, as far as, you learn things from the older brother, you learn things through the years, you learn things from the coach, but what's the thing that you've kind of, I guess, learned yourself, if that makes sense?
Learn myself. That's a hard one. Probably just commitment to the program, commitment to my teammates, commitment to my coaches, just doing everything I possibly can to do the right thing, to go out and win on a Friday night, doing whatever it takes, putting your body on the line, just everything you can to get a win on Friday night.
Well, speaking of commitment, this guy's really good with segues. It's that time of year. You got to think about the future. Do you have an idea where
Not yet.
Not yet, huh?
By the end of the season, I should have an answer for you. So,
is there any hope to go and reunite with your older brother, or is it pretty much that was the only joining point of your guys' careers, and now it's one is Cole, one is Caleb?
I think I would do it. I would really like to do it, but I guess we'll see what happens.
Now, do you have any hopes as far as, like, what's your top three?
I can't say that.
Oh, man, come on. Like, this is the coach's
one.
show. You got to give me something.
I will later in the season.
All right. Well, you guys are getting ready to host the reigning champions. Is that intimidating at all for you?
A little bit, obviously, just because of the program and how well respected they are. I mean, they have 13 state titles. We have 13 state titles, so it's going to be a big rivalry. It always has been. If you look back in the news and checking the newspapers, everything like that, it's a big rivalry between CMR and Capital. And especially since our head coach is a Capital alum, he said today there was brown in him, but now it's just green and gold, baby. So we're going into it. We're going to try to get that win.
Well, the legacy numbers he introduced this year, one of them is a captain, Drew Etcheberry, number 13. The other is Peyton Fenner, lineman, and he's got 75. But I know for sports, especially football, like, numbers are everything. What would your reaction have been if they said, hey, we picked you for this legacy number because you're quarterback, you've been known by a number for pretty much your entire career?
I'm not really sure. I feel like that would be kind of in the moment sort of thing, but I know I'd much rather have 10 or 11. But if I got the 13, that would have been great. Or if anyone got the 13, if anyone got the 75, I'm sure they would have been certainly happy with it. It's a pleasure to honestly have a number that represents Jack Johnson and his great career there at CMR. So I feel like it would have been fine with me, just doing whatever it takes, like I said earlier.
What's your dream moment scenario for this season as a senior? Is it the game-winning drive, rushing it in for the touchdown as time expires, anything like that?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Probably breaking my brother's records.
Oh, there it is. There, the sibling rivalry. We love it. Breaking the record. Yes. All right.
And I'm almost there. So.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, Cole, if you're watching, your record is in danger. Let's shift gears now to something football related, but not exactly. Fantasy football. How many leagues are you in?
I'm only in one right now.
Okay, all right. And who is your number one pick?
Honestly, I would go with CMC.
Oh, my man. See, okay, right there. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Who cares about his injury last year? He's not on the Madden cover this year, so we can move on from that.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite part about fantasy football?
Honestly, probably that half the time my friends have to tell me to switch my lineup because I'm like, oh crap, it's a new week, and so I get on and I'm like, uh-oh, and then I end up not being able to switch it and I lose by 50 points, and I'm like, oh. I lost it my freshman year, I think it was. I think I lost the league, and these boys never held me accountable to doing my punishment, so thank God.
Oh, wow. You guys have a punishment? You guys are in the league with a
last year
punishment?
we made Lincoln Center actually do the milk mile last year.
Wow.
He doesn't want to tell you, but he threw up a couple times.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, we were talking about doing a punishment for our league this year. What's the most leagues you've been in a season?
3.
3. I think I did 4 or 5, and I was like, this is too many. I think 3 is my max, but now I'm in 2, and trust me, your sanity is saved. But I set alarms so that I know to set my lineup. So that might be something for you.
Maybe I should
Sunday, set lineup alarm. There you go. And then it's
Probably.
a loud, obnoxious noise, like maybe Etcheberry's laugh or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does he have a weird laugh? I've never heard Drew laugh. Nobody does. All right, man. Well, I know that you guys have your thing going on. I appreciate your time. We just got a couple more questions for you, and then we'll cut you loose. Don't forget to sign the posters for our winners tonight in attendance. But let's look at your senior year and just your goals for yourself. I mean, is there anything that you think that you could do as far as those unmentioned teams that you're gunning for that would help put you, I guess, over the edge for one of them or all of them?
Probably just doing my best for everyone on the team, keeping everyone aroused, keep being a leader, keep doing what I can do for the team, whether it's putting my body on the line or whatever it may be. If I'm rolling out the pocket and I got to get a couple extra yards, I'm best believe I'm putting my body on the line. If I get hurt, I get hurt, but it's what I got to do to win the game for the team. So.
Well, any other thoughts on the big matchup with Capital? You guys open up Memorial Stadium for the first game of the season. Non-conference, I don't know. Does this conference matter to you? Coach, a game is a game.
Conference matters a lot because if you don't win 2 conference games, then you're not in the playoffs, obviously.
Yeah.
So it matters a lot more than non-conference, but this rivalry game between Capital is going to be a big one, so it'll really put our team to the test, and I think it's going to be a good test.
Well, the saying is you learn more from a loss than a win, but obviously a win. I mean, I can't even tell you. And I'm just a spectator, right? What would you learn from this kind of win? Like, what would that tell you about the 2025 CMR wrestlers?
Tell us that we're here and ready to compete with every team in the state. Doesn't matter who you are, we're gunning for you. So,
where's your confidence level? Because you sound confident just talking to you.
We're ready.
We're ready. All right.
Come watch a practice, you'd see. We're ready, and I think it's going to show on the first night. So,
okay. Well, you heard it here from Caleb Taylor, the CMR Russell quarterback. And next week, we go across the river, still right here at Stadium Sports Bar and Casino, when we welcome Coach Cheetah and a player of his choice from the Great Falls High Bison. Any message for them you'd like me to pass along?
No message for them, boys. Not yet. We'll talk to them week 9.
Well, we'll talk on the field. I like that. That's fun. So every Monday, live here at Stadium Sports Bar Casino, the Stadium Lights Coaches Show. We are quite literally under the Stadium Lights here. Yep. And it was a pretty easy marketing. Like, what are you going to call a coach's show? Stadium Lights, because you guys had to play with half of them last year. That did kind of play into it. I was a little excited about it. I was like, stadium, the lights. Well, there was half the lights went out. So I guess, under the stadium lights makes sense. So it was little things like that. It doesn't take a whole lot to come up with names for this stuff. But man, you guys, Friday, Capital, home team, gold standard. Do you know when the posters are going to be here for the season?
Posters, I think they should be here sometime this week. So they'll be going out to our sponsors and everyone else who wants them.
Yeah, don't forget, support the Rustlers and the Bison. I'll just throw that out there. But they've got gold cards, blue cards, different ways that you guys can support not only the football team, but all fall sports and sports and programs throughout the year. But this has been episode number 1 of the Stadium Lights Coaches Show. We are going to go ahead and cut things short a little bit because you guys got your thing to get to. And again, apologies for the scheduling conflict. Apparently, the coaches thought it was tomorrow night, and so I was like, "Oh, I'm in the clear," and then it wasn't. It was very much not Tuesday night, but we'll try to do our best to fill in a full hour moving forward. But you guys can tune in same time, same place, Facebook Live, YouTube channel, Instagram Live as well. But Caleb, man, it's been so great getting to know you over the years, watch you play, and it's so bittersweet that this is your final season. But hey, man, go sling it, and thanks again so much.
Thank you.
All right, one more time for Caleb Taylor. Thank you guys so much for attending the show. We definitely appreciate it. Thank you so much to our sponsors, and one more shout out especially for our supporter, not a sponsor, but supporter, Linda Morin, Hall of Fame super fan, hashtag Rustler Pride. Thank you guys so much. So for Coach AJ Wilson, Caleb Taylor, I am, as always, the T-Man, Richard T-Man, and we will see you guys next time.